What is going on, guys? Welcome to another edition of the Fightful Wrestling Weekly, brought to you by the folk over at Fightful.com. I am Nick. Tim, how are you doing?
Pretty good here on a Friday, talking Superstar Shakeup, Impact Wrestling, Rusev, and more.
Yeah, so let's go ahead and kick it off with the Superstar Shakeup. Let's see what Sean had to write over about that on the website.
All right, so Sean wrote, it's probably easier to tell you what was excluded from this week's WWE scripts than what's in them. Raw's available. Well, the Raw script is available over at FightfulSelect.com for free and mentioned a ton of names that were joining Raw. However, it left out a lot of their social media announcements for both shows. Some of them which were fairly big, like The Bar, Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn, their appearance on Raw with The Miz. Miz was also left out in a blank spot on the Raw script, as well as the eventual appearance of Bobby Roode in the evening's main event. The Riot Squad's debut was also left off the run sheet, as generally it seems as if those with entrances are placed on the script. It's not a strict thing, but just seems to be the case. Drew McIntyre and R-Truth were also unmentioned. I mean, it really looks like they just wanted to keep everything a secret. Sean goes on to say that there was no info given on the scripts about the iteration of Sanity that would be called up, which is why I made sure to specify in our spoiler post that I was unclear who would get the promotion. Unfortunately, Nikki Cross was not brought up with the group. Another notable change to this week's format was the absence of listings of the agents for each show, which seems to be very sporadic in different weeks.
Yeah, so you know, he mentions Nikki Cross not being called up, and I know a lot of people have been up in arms saying, you know, she's one of the main parts of Sanity, and while that's really true,
kinda,
she's just as part of Sanity as she's a part of that NXT women's division,
if not more part of that women's division.
Oh yeah, and you don't want to strip that women's division dry of their big talent. You know, the Iconics, Ember Moon. You don't want to strip them of those names, so you want to keep someone down there to really help out that women's division, so it's not just a who, right? When you think about their women's division,
you need a NXT, I guess you could say NXT veteran who can work with the newcomers like Shayna Baszler, Dakota Kai, Lacey Evans.
She right now is playing the Cassius Ohno role.
Yeah, I guess she's in the Bayley spot where
Bayley.
Bayley was, I mean, Bayley did have the title, but at the same time, Bayley was the veteran. She knows how NXT's run, so now she can train all the other girls and say, hey, this is how we need to run NXT. This is how NXT needs to be done.
Yeah, and I'm glad that she's still down there. I think she's going to do great. I think she's going to hold the title at least once, even if it's for, a set of tapings or, a few months. I'm really excited to see where that goes.
Right, and I mean, another thing he said that they kept Bobby Roode's name off the script, and I think maybe they might have big plans for Bobby Roode coming on Raw. Because I mean,
I hope so, because God knows when he went to SmackDown, we all said, "Ooh, Bobby Roode's on SmackDown. Let's go. This is going to be great." He has the U.S. title. He
barely had that U.S. title.
Exactly, that's what I'm saying.
And he feuded with Dolph Ziggler.
And mentioning people that hold titles, I hold a title.
This again.
I hold one. I hold the title. I hold the NWA North American Heavyweight Championship title that Sean Ross, Sean of the List and Your Boy podcast, seems to not appreciate. But regardless, I appreciate him, and since he's in all technicality my boss, we're going to send you over to a clip from the List and Your Boy this week.
Okay. I got good news for you.
Oh, yeah.
So today we're doing this on April 18th, and you did a little conference call before this, and you were tweeting some stuff. My good news for you, Sean, is that at my new house I'm getting artificial grass, and so I'm never going to ask you to mow my lawn.
Well, that's good, because I don't mow my own lawn.
Oh, you don't?
My yard is really big. I don't have a mower, and there's just a guy who does it at a dirt cheap price in our neighborhood, so I was like, yeah, sure, why not?
I thought maybe you had like a herd of goats that just like walked around casually in Kentucky.
I would do it. I would.
So if anybody doesn't get the reference, because no, I'm not being an asshole saying Sean should mow my lawn. Scott Steiner was on a conference call.
You are still being an asshole.
I don't care. Scott Steiner was on a conference call and made a comment about if Trump puts up the wall and the Mexicans have to leave, who's going to mow the grass? And Sean said, "Oh, this conference call is not starting out well." And I said, "People get so easily offended. It's kind of funny because he said Conan was going to have to do it after he beats him, right?"
Not very funny at all.
I thought it was kind of funny.
He's not facing Conan. He's facing LAX. But yeah, the point stands.
Yeah.
But then later he called Dixie Carter a dumbass for bringing in the quote racist Hulk Hogan.
Did he? He called Dixie Carter really?
Yeah, on the call.
She employed him for a long. I mean, that's not cool.
She also sued him. So there's that.
I vaguely remember. I remember there was something about. I vaguely remember. With Scott Steiner, there's so much different shit that I forget.
Yeah. Well, that's why sometimes I can make those impact calls. Sometimes I can't. But when you're told Scott Steiner's going to be on one,
yeah, he's interesting.
I'm going to get a few tweets out of that one.
Yeah, that's for sure.
Sean, you're not really my boss. At least I hope you're not, because then I demand a paycheck. But Sean did have some stuff to write about Impact Wrestling over the weekend, so let's see what he had to write about that slowly becoming a lot better promotion.
All right, so speaking of WrestleMania weekend, Sean writes that Fightful got a little bit of heat for asking Sanjay Dutt a question in regards to Jeff Jarrett's Hall of Fame induction, which was going down at the same time as the Impact vs. Lucha Underground show Dutt was promoting. An understandable miscommunication, but in my estimation, Impact Wrestling won out the night and had the most exciting event between the two. 5.5 hours can be a little much without any action. So basically, he was interviewing Sanjay Dutt, and he started asking about WWE stuff, and they're like, whoa, why are you asking about WWE when you're supposed to be doing this interview to promote Impact and the Impact versus Lucha Underground shows? And he's not wrong with saying that Impact and Lucha Underground, their shows did win out the night. A lot of people complained about that Hall of Fame being way too long, and some people, not going to name any names, Hillbilly Jim, went a little too long and took it upon themselves to just talk. But from what I did see of the Impact versus Lucha Underground stuff, I did like the matches, like the main event they did there.
Oh, yeah.
Even
those
though
matches
Alberto
were
didn't
awesome,
show up.
dude.
But no, it was really good.
Yeah, no, they were great. Even though Alberto no-showed, they still went head on. Austin Aries is great down there.
Oh yeah,
they're doing some real good stuff. And like I said, they're a very up and coming promotion, which I love. And it's weird to think TNA Impact and the words up and coming, but they've really rebranded themselves for the better.
Yes.
And they're becoming fantastic right now. Speaking of Impact Wrestling, we're going to send you over to an interview that Fightful did with Eli Drake of Impact Wrestling.
This partnership between Impact and Lucha Underground would not have happened a few years ago. There were even issues between Impact and Lucha Underground. What do you think that says about Impact's willingness to try different things?
Well, I think it's not just a credit to Impact, but a credit to Lucha Underground. It's a credit to the business because there's so many soft egos in this business to the point where people don't want to work together. People don't want to, kind of put the pride aside.
They had pretty strict contracts, too, if I recall, prior to this.
Yeah, to a decent degree. But, I mean, if you look at it now, we got a lot of guys crossing over. So.
Yeah.
So with that whole crossover, obviously there's flexibility on both sides. So to that point, I think it's great for the talent. I think it's great for the business, and I think it's great for probably both the companies because now you're getting cross promotion.